You have heard of the Shaolin Temple, home to the Shaolin monks and their iconic kung fu styles in the Songshan mountain range in China, and the Wudang Mountain, once the abode of the legendary Taoist sage and inventor of Tai Chi, Zhang Sanfeng. This is where you will find Wudang martial arts, which are soft internal styles associated with Taoism. The Wudang arts were made famous in the West by the movie Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon, where they showcase the lightness skill or Qinggong of Wudang practitioners. And these two places together make up the most famous Kung Fu mountain monasteries in China, one Buddhist, one Taoist.
If what you say is true, the Shaolin and the Wu-Tang could be dangerous.
But there is another mountain, Emei Shan, made famous by martial arts novels, that also has a long history with Kung Fu. It's also become more famous in recent years by female practitioners of Emei Kung Fu known as the Emei sect or Emei Pai. So what exactly is the story of Emei Shan? Is it a mountain full of beautiful women who could kill you with one stab of a needle? In this video, you're going to find out. This is the story of China's third Kung Fu mountain, Emei Shan. And this video is brought to you by Migaku, but more on that later. So, Emei Shan is 3,099 meters or around 10,000 feet tall. Located in Sichuan province, it is the tallest of the 4 sacred mountains of Buddhism in China. However, the mountain has strong links with both Buddhism and Taoism, as you will see. So the story of Emei Shan is thought to have started with a martial artist who lived on the mountain during the Warring States period, a Taoist called Situ Xuankong. The Warring States period was from 475 to 221 BC, and multiple texts state that Xuankong lived at this time, like this one. The White Monkey Lord of the Warring States period. His courtesy name was Emei Shan, and he was Situ Xuankong of Emei Mountain. The white monkey thing came from the fact that he observed the movements of the monkeys on Emei Mountain and imitated them, creating his style of Emei Tongbei Fist, and he often wore white clothes, so white monkey. Totally makes sense. If you're a Kung Fu master in ancient China, you have to have a cool Kung Fu name.
The universe has brought us the Dragon Warrior.
What?
Case in point, White Monkey also had sword techniques and started teaching disciples, creating a style of Kung Fu called Emei Pai. Now, if this is true, and this guy did come from the Warring States period, then that means that the Kung Fu styles from Emei Mountain predate Shaolin by 800 years or more. It challenges the saying, 天下武功出Shaolin, or all Kung Fu styles under heaven come from Shaolin. However, that is just a theory that has been passed down. There is another theory that we'll get to in just a second. But first, if you are thinking of going to learn Kung Fu in China or going to China for any other reason, you will want to have a good grasp of the Chinese language. And that is why I have partnered with Migaku, a seriously powerful language learning software package with a host of features for Chinese and a load of other languages. On Migaku.com, you can take their introductory Mandarin courses and then their Academy Level 1 course, written by language experts that cover 80% of the vocabulary used in Chinese media. You are then ready for self-study, where you can use some of the features on the Migaku browser extension. One of my favorite features is the ability to hover over Chinese text online and get the meaning in English. However, Migaku goes even further than other similar software in that it gives you not just the meaning, but example sentences, and even has an AI that will tell you the precise meaning of the word in the context of the sentence it is being used in right now, even taking into account how words before and after change the meaning slightly. With Migaku, you can also watch select shows on YouTube, Netflix, and Disney Plus using the Migaku plugin for your browser and get real-time analysis of subtitles and new words explained to you.
我听我哥说，学校女生都在追他。我听我哥说，学校女生都在追他。
You can even add those new words to flashcards, like in this case, our user comes across a new word, 记得, to remember, that they haven't seen before.
哎，我记得主校区是不是离芝芝的学校近啊？
They can immediately isolate that word from the subtitles and create a flashcard to study later. And the interface is really well thought out when watching videos. As soon as I roll my mouse over the video viewer, the video stops and I can hover over the subtitles to look up a word I don't know. Like in this case, 新界, or the New Territories region of Hong Kong, I can then get an explanation of what kind of place it is, and there are even photos, including maps and pictures of what it looks like. Another feature I really like is the ability to scan Chinese text with your phone's camera and get an instant translation. Really useful for reading Chinese menus or signs when traveling in China, or just about any Chinese text where you don't have the ability to copy and paste it. Anyway, I have been having a great time testing out Migaku. It is a really strong tool for any language learner. Right now, they are offering a limited time deal for my viewers, starting with only $10 per month. Get 50% off a lifetime subscription, including all languages. Just go to migaku.com/learn-Chinese now to check it out and sign up. So, the other theory as to the start of Emei martial arts makes them look a lot newer. In the Song dynasty, there lived a monk called Deyuan Zhanglao. He went up to Emei Shan to cultivate the Tao, and he also studied martial arts. He supposedly wrote a book called Emei Shu, or The Fighting Arts of Emei. But the fact that he wrote the book about martial arts from Emei Mountain suggests that there were already martial arts being practiced there, so I kind of think calling him the founder is not very accurate. His book could just be the first instance of compiling Emei techniques into a formalized set in writing. Research in the 20th century has shown that there are as many as 68 different arts and 2,368 different weapons associated with Emei Mountain. But Emei is nowhere near as well known as Shaolin and has always had an air of mystery about it. In fact, while Shaolin has that saying, 天下武功出少林, all the martial arts under heaven come from Shaolin, i.e. they spread their arts all over the country and created many substyles, there is a saying about Emei that goes, 峨眉武术不出门, or Emei martial arts do not leave the temple. They didn't actively promote their arts, they kind of kept them secret. But what even is Emei Kung Fu, and what is practiced on the mountain today? Well, there are many styles on Emei Mountain, and there are both Buddhist and Taoist temples. So the arts practiced at Emei contain a fusion of Buddhist and Taoist influences. You will find animal styles like the snake or tiger. There's also white eyebrow Kung Fu, which traces its origin to the monk Bai Mei or Pai Mei, who is the character seen in the Kill Bill movies.
I am proficient in Tiger Crane style, and I am more than proficient in the exquisite art of the samurai sword.
The real-life historical figure Bai Mei spent time at Emei Mountain. That is where he is said to have fled to after he left the Shaolin Temple when it was burned down. He appears in our Shaolin 5 Elders video, which looks like this. I'll put it on the end screen of this video for you to check out. Then you also have Emei Baguazhang, which is practiced on the mountain as well, although it doesn't originate from there. This is a Taoist style made popular by Dong Huaichuan in the 1800s that moves in circles and is a very beautiful and powerful martial art. But what about the whole idea that there is a sect of beautiful women practicing Kung Fu up on Emei Mountain, like what we see in some promo videos from China? Well, this is actually a fictional aspect of Emei Shan's history, and it comes from the wuxia novel Yi Tian Tu Long Ji, or The Heaven Sword and the Dragon Saber, written by famous martial arts fiction author Jin Yong. In the story, there is a woman named Guo Xiang who is a powerful martial artist, and at the age of 40, she becomes a Buddhist nun on Emei Mountain and starts a Kung Fu sect, which is called Emei Pai. In the novels, Emei sect martial arts are best suited to women and passed down by female masters. The arts include the use of needles, or Emei Ci. And then in addition to needles, you have straight swords, or jian. In real life, Emei masters have talked about the characteristics of Emei fist, not Emei Baguazhang or other arts on the mountain, but the actual Emei fist that traces its origin to Situ Xuankong from the Warring States period. This art, like other southern styles, uses arms more than legs because it was designed for fighting in mountain and forest environments where there wasn't much space for big kicks and leaps like our characteristic in northern long fist styles. Because people from Sichuan are not as tall and have shorter arms than northern Chinese, they use finger strikes to increase their range a little bit. But since fingers are weaker than fists, they tend to aim for weak spots on the body like acupuncture points or the eyes. They have a saying, 张指为先, or the palms and fingers go first, or the palms and fingers lead. And some masters do say that because the art is making up for a smaller stature, creating advantages by lengthening the reach and hitting weak spots, This makes it a good art for women to learn. In addition to Kung Fu, there is one more aspect of Emei Mountain that really adds to the mystery, and that would be the Buddha light, or Fo Guang. There are multiple photos online taken on Emei Shan where you can see a very beautiful and holy looking light. Chinese people believe that this is the Buddha light, or Fo Guang, generated by enlightened beings living on the mountain. As to the authenticity of these claims, I don't know. I'd have to go to Emei Mountain and see it for myself, but it certainly adds to the mystery of Emei Shan, China's third Kung Fu mountain. Alright guys, that is the video for today. A big thank you to Migaku for sponsoring this episode. If you want to learn Chinese, do check out their system. In the links below, you can get that exclusive 50% off deal. Also, if you want to support our work, do consider joining our channel as a member. You get early access to our videos, and we'll make a special effort to answer your questions when you leave a question in the comments. Join button is below, but you can also just subscribe, which is free, so that you never miss a video. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.